Flipbook Gospel, nourishing souls through spoken word. Cain and Abel, the sons of Adam and Eve, was born into a world still fresh from the Creator's hands. They grew up in the shadow of Eden, the paradise their parents had lost. They had been taught about the one true God, about His power and His justice, and about the curse that had fallen upon the earth because of sin. Cain, the elder, was a man of the fields. He toiled under the sun, breaking the hardened soil, planting seeds and harvesting grain. He knew the sweat of labor, the patience of waiting for rain, and the satisfaction of a fruitful harvest. His younger brother, Abel, was a keeper of sheep, leading his flocks across the hills, tending to the lambs, and listening to their soft bleats in the still of the night. One day, the time came for both men to bring an offering to the Lord. They had been taught that worship required sacrifice, a gift to honor the Creator. Cain, proud of his work, gathered the finest produce of his fields. He stacked the golden grain and the ripest fruits upon the altar, believing that his labor alone would be enough. Abel, on the other hand, chose the best of his flock, an unblemished lamb, and laid it upon the altar as a blood offering. The fire of heaven descended, consuming Abel's sacrifice, and the smoke rose up, a pleasing aroma before the Lord. But Cain's offering remained untouched. The fire did not come, the smoke did not rise, and the silence from heaven cut deep into Cain's soul. He felt at first as confusion, then disappointment, and finally anger. A burning jealousy took root in his heart, twisting his thoughts. Why had God accepted Abel's offering but not his? Was his hard work not enough? Had the sweat of his brow meant nothing? The Lord saw Cain's anger and spoke to him. Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. Days passed, but the bitterness in his heart only grew. The voice of jealousy whispered to him, feeding his resentment. Until one day he called out to Abel, saying, "Come, let us go to the field." Abel followed without question. The two brothers walked far from their home into the wild, where no eyes could see, where no voices could intervene. And there, in the quiet of the open land, Cain turned upon his brother. Rage overtook him, and with his hands he struck Abel down. Blow after blow, he released his fury, until Abel's body lay lifeless upon the earth. The ground, already cursed from Adam's sin, now drank the blood of the innocent. The first murder in history had been committed. Then a voice called out. It was the voice of the Almighty. "Cain, where is your brother Abel?" Cain's heart pounded in his chest. He knew he could not hide from God, yet he dared to answer, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But the Lord's voice came again, strong and sorrowful. "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Judgment fell upon Cain that day. The Lord cursed him, saying, "When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." Terror gripped Cain. "My punishment is more than I can bear," he cried. "Whoever finds me will kill me." But the Lord, even in his judgment, showed mercy. He placed a mark upon Cain, a sign that no one should harm him, lest they suffer sevenfold vengeance. And so Cain was cast out, sent to roam the land of Nod, east of Eden. He left behind his home, his family, and the presence of the Lord. Abel's voice was silenced, but his faith still spoke. His sacrifice had been accepted not because of what he offered, but because of the heart with which he offered it. His blood cried out for justice, but it also whispered of a greater sacrifice to come, one that would cleanse the sins of all mankind. Cain, the firstborn of man, had chosen jealousy over righteousness. Abel the second had chosen faith over fear. And so, through them, the world learned a terrible truth, that sin, once let in, does not stay idle. It grows, it consumes, and it destroys. But even in the face of judgment, God's mercy endures. And though the blood of Abel cried out from the earth, one day a greater blood would be shed, not for vengeance, but for redemption. Subscribe to the channel to help promote God's Word.